What is going on, party people? 你好吗?你好. Let's see. 新年快樂,恭喜發財. 新年快樂. I think I know all the greetings. Whatever. Happy Chinese New Year, guys. It's time, as I do every year, to go over watches that are not just important to a small segment of the world. Actually, we're going to be looking at watches that are very popular, pretty much with the largest demographic of luxury watch purchasers. For those of you who don't know, China makes up still one of the largest buying demographics for luxury watches, which is really funny because, you know, Chinese watchmaking often is and has been the butt of many a joke in the watch world. Although I actually just did a short on the PK 5000 or PT 5000 from Hong Kong Technology, which is, you know, essentially a clone of an ETA movement. And there are a lot of really cool, here, I can take this off so that I'm not obscured totally. There are a whole lot of really cool Chinese watches, but I think everything except, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think everything but like 2 watches are Swiss. They're European. And let's be real, it doesn't matter what industry. Pretty much every luxury, and by industry, I'm not talking about luxury as a whole. I'm saying like, regardless of what item they are known for, any luxury demographic pretty much caters to the Chinese luxury market to a very high degree, right? Whether it be like Hermes, Gucci, Louis Vuitton, like these luxury good purveyors that cater in like leather goods and clothing. Their largest purchasers are China, and then obviously with wristwatches, also China. Without further ado, let's go ahead and tell the time. Sean Miller, certified T3 bot, is here. Guys, love to see you during my daily streams. I also do daily streams over on my podcast channel, Everything is Gay. It is youtube.com/@canweusethатword. Go ahead and check out my podcast. All right, it is 3:25 p.m. Let's get down to business. So first, I don't want to bury the lead here, so I'm just going to show you my favorite watch of the bunch, and it has to be a reverso. Okay, so you guys know I have a yellow gold reverso classique mechanical, and this is very similar. But on the case back of this one, on the flip side, there's a nice engraving of a snake. And I think it's really cool with the black framing. It looks very nice. Some decent contrast here for sure. And just some really nice detailing, as we can see here. A whole lot going on with the scales and the long tongue with some of the clouds. It's really cool. Now, this is even cooler to me this year because I am Year of the Snake. So I think that's awesome. We're celebrating, finally, my year. And, you know, the really messed up thing, if I can just give you a quick tangent, ends up last year, Chinese New Year. Well, I guess Chinese New Year hasn't started yet because it's Chinese New Year's Eve today. So I guess like this year that has just passed was supposed to be like my best year according to the Chinese horoscope. And this was like actually my worst year. So that's like not great because I had like a life-altering injury that left me indefinitely disabled. And then the crazy thing is, according to the Chinese horoscope, this year of the snake, starting tomorrow, is supposed to not be a great year for me. And I'm like, hold on! It can get worse? Anyway, we're going to ignore that and just kind of dumb ourselves down by focusing on the good things, like wristwatches. So this reverso is probably my favorite of the bunch, just because I think reversos are some of the most elegant, simple, but fun, and I don't want to say versatile. It is technically a sports watch because it was made for polo players, but it's just so versatile in what you can do with it. They have so many different iterations of the reverso. There's duo faces with every complication under the sun. There's chronographs. And then when it comes to the artistic, possibilities, engraving, painting, inking, I think it's just awesome. So this is one of my favorite presentations for a Chinese watch. And surprisingly, there's not a speck of red on it. So the prosperous color for Chinese New Year, obviously red and gold. We have some gold here, not so much red, but don't worry, we're going to be getting into red here. This is my second favorite of the bunch. This IWC, really, really gorgeous watch. Portofino automatic moon phase, 37 year of the snake. What I love about this is we're getting the gold, the rose gold from the the dish, or I should say the plate for the moon, and then the handset, gorgeous Dauphine hands, and then the indexes. But what I really love is this deep kind of maroon color, and then it's very subtle Chinese New Year. So you can look at this and see the coloration, and be like, oh, okay, that's definitely in the spirit of Chinese New Year. Gong Hei Fa Choi, Sun Lin Fai Lok. But it's not necessarily, I mean, there's no definitive feature here other than the color that could denote Chinese New Year. Well, very, very sneaky. Similar to the reverso, once you flip it over, how cool is this, dude? That rotor has an engraved counterweight of a snake. Awesome. I think this is easily my second favorite. This would be my first favorite if a reverso wasn't on the list. I think this is a gorgeous watch, and I love that it's kind of under the radar, just like the reverso. I mean, the reverso is even more under the radar because it's black and gold. Like, you wouldn't necessarily think Chinese New Year until you flip that reverso around. This is, I guess, a little bit more apparent that it's celebrating something, perhaps. But once you spin it and show the case back, that is so cool. So this is definitely my second favorite. Moving on to my third favorite on the list. Legend of the Chinese Zodiac, Year of the Snake. This is the Mitre d'Alt from Vacheron Constantin. And this is such a gorgeous rendition of a Chinese New Year piece. And this is something that, of course, all these companies do this every year, by the way, because Chinese New Year happens every year. So this isn't anything particularly new for Vacheron, but this rendition with the snake, again, very, very dynamic, incredible portrait. You're getting like this kind of rock face here with the sky, and I guess some like these might be like what do you call it? Rose blossoms or something. It's very, very cool. Look at that. Super dynamic. Kind of just it takes that snake that was on the back of the reverso and kind of ups it a little bit. I think this is so cool. Obviously, I mean, it's a Vacheron. So I get it. Like Kyle K, I can appreciate the craftsmanship, but I don't like it. Yeah, this isn't necessarily something you'd wear all the time. But again, if you're even in the bracket to be shopping around for a watch of this caliber, you can probably afford to wear this just to celebrate the new year, and then put it away in one of your many, many safes. So, yeah, I think it's still very cool. Moving on to the watch that I used on today's thumbnail. The Year of the Snake, this is obviously Spirit of Big Bang. 42 mil, dude, 35,000 buckaroos for what is ostensibly just a piece of garbage. But, I will be honest, I do like this. I do like it, not the watch itself, but what they did with this is actually really cool, and I'm going to tell you why. So here, you obviously get the engraved snake, but this is insane how they chose to border the sub-registers with the snake's body. That is so freaking cool. I think that is a genius move by whoever designed this one. And then they took literally the scaling and they brought it up onto the bezel, the case face, along into the strap. So although this might be my least favorite watch on today's list, this is perhaps one of my favorite designs because they have kind of seamlessly integrated the actual focus of the watch, what they are celebrating, the snake itself, into the actual function of the piece, which is they didn't just slap a snake somewhere on there and say, "Oh hey, you're the snake." No, they're saying we have a snake on here, but it's bordering the sub registers. I think that's cool. Probably my least favorite watch, but the design, perhaps my favorite. Moving on to the most affordable watch on today's list. This is kind of a bummer, this one, because Longines releases this every year, and it's the same watch, okay? All it is just a fume red dial with gold hands and indexes, and they say that it's the Chinese New Year watch. And then they just give you kind of a basic engraving on the back. I get it. That's cool. I wish they did something a little different because this is pretty much exactly the same as the one from last year. So I'm not as impressed with this one, but I still think it's cool that Longines threw their hat in the ring for this, and they're celebrating this this occasion at a different price range, right? The last watch we took a look at was over $35,000. This is $3,100. Actually, not the most affordable on today's list. One of the most affordables, but not the most affordable. Moving on to a Zodiac. This is 12 Zodiac collection. Moving on to another Zodiac watch. Not Zodiac, not the brand Zodiac. Moving on to a watch celebrating the Chinese Zodiac. That was confusing. From Black by Blue Brave. 12 Zodiac collection, snake watch, blah, 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 blah. This one's kind of boring to me. Very, very girly. I kind of want to step away from watches like this because I don't think the watch industry is doing a service by making watches super kind of garish and frilly and relegating those to the women. Women deserve having legit cool functional watches as well. You know what I mean? You don't need to bedazzle one and give it some stupid integrated strap and say, "Oh, well, this is delicate for women." I think that's kind of a bummer. The green's much better than the other one. Cool, I guess. Handset looks to be a snake as well. I know nothing about this brand, by the way, but I think this could be one of the most affordable on today's list. This is probably my overall least favorite, but, it is what it is. Moving on to Fossil, okay? Here we have a few. They actually have some jewelry as well, but I wanted to look at these watches. So we have here, I guess cool. They put the scales on the bezel. Nothing super special to me. What size is this watch? Cool box though. 42 millimeters. Not my favorite. Let's see. Come on. Where were you? There's this one. I think this one is marketed for the ladies, which is funny because I actually like this one better than the other one. We have some bedazzled gemstones here. Date at the 6 o'clock. I actually like this one better. I like this one better than the one for the guys. So I'm going to vote for this one. I would actually rock this, to be honest. So something about rectangular watches, but I actually like this one much better than the male version. moving on to the snake collection from Swatch. Of course, Swatch Group has to put their hand in the their hat in the ring with this one. That one's cool. 47 millimeter, dude. Come on. 47 millimeter blue and gold light dancer. 47 mil. Get the F out of here. What are you talking about? And then finally wrapping it up with a Chinese company. Okay, of course we had to do that. Seagull, we can't talk about Chinese New Year without a legit Chinese watchmaker. In fact, one of the largest movement manufacturers in the world. Seagull. We have here, again, with the engraved rotor of a snake. Seagull Museum Snake Special Edition Tourbillon. Tribute to Chinese craftsmanship. Eccentric tourbillon movement. ST800-4R automatic eccentric tourbillon. Snake themed design. Limited to 200 pieces worldwide. That's actually very limited for Seagull. Seagull New Year, Year of the Snake. This is kind of retro, like video gamey. I think that this is really fun. I'm 35 years old, okay? I'm ancient. Back in my day, we couldn't just take our phones and find the newest hentai website and have fun. We had to play Snake with our Nokia brick, all right? So ain't no looking up Sailor Moon topless or whatever you kids are doing now. We had to entertain ourselves watching a little squiggly pixel go pick up other pixels. All right? So anyway, I think this is fun because it's celebrating the game of Snake, which is, I think, it's cool. And then, of course, I think if you want the coolest Chinese watch to celebrate Chinese New Year, just get a Seagull 1963. I know it's not specifically celebrating Chinese New Year, but it's probably the coolest Chinese watch you can ever get. That's just my opinion. So, guys, thank you so much. I actually have to wrap up a little bit more work, and then I'm going to be shaving my head even more for Chinese New Year because I'm going to celebrate with Sammy's family, and they are very Chinese, and so it's tradition to cut your hair because you have to do it right before New Year. So I'm going to cut it even shorter. I have to clean it up, and then we're going to eat a bunch of Chinese food, which is awesome. I'm Jewish, so the best Jewish food is Chinese food. All right, guys, love you. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay blessed. I'm Jory Goodman. At the time, telling always remember, I didn't invent time. I just tell it. Gong hei fa choi. May this year be very prosperous to you. I'll see you probably not tomorrow because we're going to the Chinese temple all day tomorrow. So if not tomorrow, maybe the day after. Let me know in the comments though. Which Chinese watch is your favorite? This is kind of a trick question because I think I only showed you a few Chinese watches. Which Chinese New Year watch